Hey, welcome to another installment of Celebrity Profiles here on Live from Dennis's House as part of the Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour. Today we're going to be talking with Anson Williams, of course best known as Potsy Weber on the iconic show Happy Days. The sitcom ran from 74 to 84, and he had an amazing career after that too. He was a big director, and he was a writer, and of course we all know his singing abilities on Happy Days. Who could forget that episode when he was singing with Joni, and Joni fell in love with him, and she was calling him Dren because that's nerd backwards. And he's actually gone on to do so many things with his directing. He 90210 Melrose Place, to name it two favorites of mine, and then movies and countless other things. But the big thing that he's working on now that we're going to hear about is he's involved with preventing drowsy driving, which is a major problem, much worse than drunk driving even. So we're going to talk to him about all that kind of stuff, and we're going to find out what he's up to now and what he's been up to all these years. So, but before we talk to Anson Williams, why don't we play some music? And we're going to play Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley and the Comets, of course. And we're going to play Anson's only single. I believe it's called Gladly. We're going to listen to that. We'll come back and we'll talk to Anson Williams. On the phone with us now is the great Anson Williams. So, Anson, I want to talk about what's going on today. But first, I want to start from the very beginning. I want to wrap up your entire life through today and see if we can do this all in 20 minutes. All right. So
Yes.
Let's see if we can go way back to the beginning now and tell us how you got involved in acting and what were some of your first roles.
Gosh, I started, really walked out of the house at 18 years old because my parents said, come back home when you're sane. Don't go into show business. And it's true. And I ended up, I started off just standing in what was called non-equity lines. In professional theater, there's equity, which is union, but there's always a non-equity line. And in the equity rules, they have to see the non-equity people. And maybe you'll get lucky and they'll hire you and you'll get your equity card so you can do professional theater. So I just stood in line after line after line. Finally, I ended up getting an apprentice job in a summer stock company, and I earned my equity card by the end of the season. And from that, I started doing other shows, other plays, and then I was in one show in Los Angeles, and a commercial agent saw me, and I signed up with the agency, and I started being sent out on commercials, and I started landing commercials, and one thing led to another from that. So pretty much started, walking out of the house, standing in lines, and I lucked out by getting hired.
There you go. And then, of course, you got the role on Happy Days. This the most iconic show. It was a great, great cast. And I want to talk about the cast for a minute of this show. That like I said, it was just such a great cast. You all had such great chemistry. I think that if one person was cast differently, it might have changed the whole chemistry of the show. What do you think about that?
Oh well, absolutely. I don't know if everyone out there realizes, but there were two pilots for Happy Days. And the first one was a much softer kind of show, more in the order of Summer 42. It's about a new television set coming to the family. Marion Ross was in it. I was in it. Ron was in it. Ron Howard. But there was a different Joni. There was a different Mr. C. Fonzie wasn't created. Ralphie wasn't created. And it didn't sell. And then a year later, after Graffiti came out and was so popular, and Grease on Broadway was so popular, the network decided to do another pilot, but this time go more on the order of Graffiti. And that's when they added the Ralph character, Fonzie, whatever. That was the magic. So, there was an it factor to that casting that connected with the world. Just a fabulous cast with this incredible connection that I think all the viewers could connect to and feel and embrace.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just such a good show. Everybody loved that show, and of course, Garry Marshall was the creator of the show. And
yes,
what did he mean to you? He must have been like a role model, a father figure.
Oh well, actually both. I mean, Garry. Initially, he wanted to be a teacher, and then he went into show business. So his sets were like classrooms, like college classrooms. He would inspire us to do the best work we could and be very collaborative with Happy Days, but he also inspired us to wear other hats, learn writing, learn directing, learn about this business, be able to wear many hats. That's how you're going to survive. And he also found in me my entrepreneurial abilities. So the Paramount lot became a huge college. You know, I'd watch John Schlesinger direct Day of the Locust. I'd watch Roman Polanski direct Chinatown. I'd watch all the Grease musical numbers being shot on the stage. It was just an amazing education for other areas of the entertainment business, and that's why I think we're still vital today. Is because of Garry Marshall, because of his inspiration and his care about us beyond just being actors, but making our lives complete. And he was an amazing mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to directing in a second, but I want to talk about, your singing on the show. You did all the singing. I loved those episodes when you were singing, especially the one when Joni fell in love with you and she was calling you Dren and all of this. But, you being the singer on the show, you've never actually put out an album, have you? You had like one single, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, it was interesting. Because it's funny, the music got on the show, again, through my entrepreneurial side of my brain. Back then, they didn't pay actors like they did today. So we did okay, but you're not going to get rich doing a television show. And I saw how well David Cassidy did off the show. The Brady Bunch were doing better off the show singing than on the show. And I had sung in clubs and musical theater, and I thought if I could convince Garry to put a band on the show, I could get a record deal and I could book myself, get booking, and do better. So I was able to convince Garry to put music on the show, and I was able to get signed to a record label, Chelsea Records, the same as David Cassidy. And we did put out a single, but the company went under before the album came out.
Wow.
So I never got the album out, but it did create a singing career for me, where I was able to, sing all over the country, and I ended up doing Resorts International in Atlantic City and Harrah's Reno in Nevada, and it really gave me another platform of opportunity for many years.
Right, and I bet that single, if you can get that, I bet it's worth a lot of money now.
Probably.
Yeah. And it's funny though.
I'm sure there's a lot out there that didn't sell.
It's funny that I was recently interviewing Don Most, your buddy, and he actually has a singing career now. So did you ever think of redoing your singing career or joining up with him and doing a duet?
Well, actually, Don is a really good friend. He lives like just 20 minutes from me, and we've done gigs together. He loves, I did it all. He's a great performer, and he loves, doing his shows. So, I went more behind the camera. I directed over 300 episodes, and I'm in, very entrepreneurial in the product business, trying to save lives, and so I'm just involved in other areas.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go. Well, before we get to the directing and the stuff, I want to talk about the fame and how you handled that as a teenager. You were in early 20s when you took this role?
Yeah,
and
I was.
I didn't hear anything about you going crazy or anything, but I'm sure you must have enjoyed yourself with the girls and the fame, the money, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's so funny because 3 weeks before the show went on, we're fighting for dates like everybody else. All of a sudden, the show goes on and we're hot. It's like, but even that, it was pretty amazing because there were only 3 networks at the time. So we had an average of 58 million people a week watching our show. And, and then singing on the show, doing concerts. Yeah, but Garry Marshall kept us pretty grounded.
Yeah.
We all knew we weren't special. We knew that we were popular because of the platform we were on. And, no one really took advantage of it. Everyone was pretty constructive in using the show to further their careers and helping other people. So we had a lot of fun, but we were always we were a very sane cast.
Yeah. Well, all to Garry Marshall. He was a good father figure. So, So as you mentioned, you got into directing after this. So, is it because of watching these other guys directing? How did you get into it? And, you had a whole, TV shows, movies, 90210, Melrose. Tell us about your directing career.
Well, I actually started by writing and producing. First
Okay.
film I wrote the story for was Skyward with Bette Davis in 1980.
Okay.
And Ron Howard directed and exec produced with me. So I was behind the camera, and then found it much more satisfying to direct. So I had to hire myself for 2 projects I created. And then after that, I started working for other people, and I was very fortunate in having a really, really nice television directing career. And yeah, I mean, Paramount and Garry were instrumental because I learned my craft through the best in the world, and I was very fortunate.
Yeah. It's amazing how you just go from different career to different aspects of a career, and that
Well,
brings.
you just don't go to it. You really have to educate yourself, and it's hard work, and you have to be good at it, and you have to really pay the dues to do it.
Yeah. It's and that brings us to my next topic here. That you said you're in the entrepreneurial world too, and so tell us about this drowsy driving that you're involved with. These alert drops, and I understand you had a brush with death. All of this.
Well, it's my uncle. He's actually my second cousin, but I've called him uncle ever since I was a little kid, and that's Dr. Henry Heimlich, who created the Heimlich maneuver.
Right.
And actually, together we got on national television for the first time on Merv Griffin's show many years ago. And he's been a big influence on my life. And he passed away last December. But and then years ago, I was directing a show called Slap Maxwell with Dabney Coleman. And it was a very hot day in the Palmdale area of California, which is a local desert community. And I fell asleep at the wheel driving home, and ended up bouncing around in the desert. Almost killed myself.
Wow.
And it was really serious. And I talked to Dr. Heimlich about it, and he's a genius when it comes to sensory connection of body, how the body helps the body. And he told me to cut up lemons, keep them in the car, and he said when you start feeling drowsy to bite into it. And he explained that when the citric acid and the sour lemon hits the lingual nerve on top of the tongue, your body has an automatic reflex reaction of adrenaline. So you're up, you're alert, nothing in your system, your own body waking the body.
Wow.
Sensory connection of tongue and brain. So I would do that, and for years, I never had a problem again. And then through those years, I went into the entrepreneurial side, the product business. And my business partner, Joanna Cannell, and I must have developed, created at least 40 products. We were on QVC for a decade. And we're still on the Walmart website and all this, but a few years ago we're researching in drowsy driving, and I'm sure everyone listening now understands it's catastrophic. It is like a major killer in this country. If people are scared of terrorism and drunk driving and drug driving, well, there's more people killed by drowsy driving than all of those combined.
Wow.
It's a silent killer that tears families apart, and it's preventable. I called Dr. Heimlich, and when I found out there's 168 million drowsy drivers a year, 168 million.
Wow.
1 out of 5 fall asleep at the wheel. At least 1 out of 5 accidents is caused by drowsy driving. Families are being torn apart. It is horrific what's going on. And I called Henry and I said, Dr. Heimlich, what if we took the right amount of citric acid, the right amount of sour lemon, water, just basically a hard hit of lemon in a spray. And what if we just sprayed it on top of that lingual nerve? And he said, that's genius. Absolutely do it. You will save more lives in the Heimlich maneuver, naturally.
Wow.
So we did. We spent 2 years. We created alert drops. And if people go to alertdrops.com, that's alertdrops.com, they'll get all the science behind it, all the information behind it, the facts about drowsy driving, and you can actually purchase it, or you can purchase it on Amazon.com. And there's also pages of testimonials of people whose lives have been saved by alert drops, who the stories are just wonderful. And because of Dr. Heimlich, we can stop drowsy driving safely, naturally, with your own body waking yourself up. No caffeine, no stimulants, no unnatural anything in your body. Your own body, your own sensory connection of tongue and brain, and your life can be saved naturally and instantly. Please go to alertdrops.com. Save your life, save your family's life, save your friend's life. I'm passionate about this because I know this works.
This is amazing. This is genius. And, because people aren't going to cut up lemons and keep them in the car, but to have this spray, that's amazing.
Yeah. And it took 2 years. It took 2 years and a lot of substitutes to perfect, because you need just the right amount of citric acid. You need just the right amount of lemon water. I mean, it's perfected to a T perfectly. And it works every time because it's reflex reaction. It's an honest reflex reaction to adrenaline every time you hit your tongue. That's simple, and it's life-saving.
Wow, that's amazing. And people can buy this, keep it in the car and in the house. And, kids want to stay up studying. They don't need coffee. They don't need drugs. You can use it for everything.
Yep, it's great for kids in studying, kids in classrooms. It's great for sports. It's fantastic for late-night workers. We sell a lot to ambulance companies, EMTs. We sell a lot to doctors and nurses, people that need to be alert in their jobs. It's a natural, instant wake-up call that doesn't go in your system, that's 100% safe, 100% natural, and will keep you in the right place to be able to not be in danger, not be in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, wow, this is amazing. I'm so glad I heard about this and interviewed you. We got to get this out to everybody.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the platform to talk about it, because I can't do this myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your hard work, and your fans, you're helping me save their lives. I'm telling you, because we're talking right now, someone's life will be saved. Trust me, someone's life will be saved because they listen to your program. And I want to thank you for being a collaborator on this, and because together we can save lives.
Yeah, my pleasure. This is an important thing that you're doing here. This is great. Besides all the entertainment you've given us, now you're saving lives. It's amazing.
It pales to this. Yeah. In fact, I think everything I've done leads up to this.
Yeah,
it leads up to saving lives. I mean, it's so important. It's just so important. I can't, in good conscience, go through life without promoting this hard, because I know the good it will do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm going to put up the website. I'm going to make it my goal to push this as much as I can. I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to get it myself.
Please do.
Yeah,
Please
I'll get it myself.
It's very, very important.
Yeah, that's great. So now, you also, I heard that you were a cancer survivor as well. So, how did that change you? Did that lead you down this path, maybe, you think?
It had a big effect on me. I was blindsided, but I'm very lucky. They said the bad thing is you've got it. The good thing is you've got the one to get.
Okay.
So, they were able to clean me up, and it's quite a recovery period. But I tell you, you're in that hospital. Every cliche is true. Every single cliche is true. What's important in life? It ain't fame. It's not money. That's not what you think about. And so it was a great motivator in making darn sure I got alert drops out to everyone. Because Dr. Heimlich, he passed away 4 days before I found out I had colon cancer.
Oh,
and he said that, and a few weeks before that, I had my last conversation, and he brought up getting this out to everyone. And again, he reiterated it will save more lives than the Heimlich maneuver. So I promised him, and I promised me, So I got to get through this, and I got to make this happen. And I did. I was one of the lucky ones.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, between you and your uncle with the Heimlich and the drops, you guys saved half the world with that. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, we're just able to be in a position to be able to help. That's all.
Right. It's amazing. So now, so what else you got going on? What do you got coming up next? You directing, acting, anything like that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We just sold a pilot. Interesting. Taste of Home is probably the largest food platform in the world. Trusted Brands, which is Reader's Digest, owns it. It's huge. Anyway, I developed a talk show, cooking show. We just sold the pilot to Station Group. So we'll be producing that shortly, which is exciting.
Oh, great. So, yeah, and I understand you have 5 daughters as well. Have any of them gone into the business?
No. They're not in the business. They're all into different areas. And one of my daughters is a major honcho now over at BuzzFeed. 4 still at home. My 10-year-old, I'm going to be taking over to her older sister's house to have a sleepover. And she's staring at me right now. Dad, it's taking so long.
Enough with the stupid interview. Let's go. Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. So yeah, but I'll tell you that they're either going to keep me humble or dead. You know?
So yeah, have they ever watched any of your work? Do they treat you with respect, or you're just dad?
Oh, I'm just dead. Let me ask. Stella, have you watched any Happy Days? No. She hasn't watched one.
It's a great show. I loved it when I was 10. So, well, it sounds like, you got a lot of great stuff going on. Yeah. You had a great career, and, these alert drops. Everyone's got to go out, alertdrops.com, and, we'll save a lot of lives that way. So, I want to thank you for calling in, and thank you for all of this stuff you're giving us here.
Well, thank you. And again, thank you so much for the time and for your talent and for allowing me to bring this up, to your fans and your audience. I appreciate it so much.
It's great. So thanks talking to you, and we'll be checking out your work and these alert drops. We'll
go to everyone else. Please go to alertdrops.com and save a life, please.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Anson.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Celebrity Profiles here on Live from Dennis's House, 474 The Mix. And that was great. We had a great conversation talking to Anson Williams. We learned so much. Of course, we talked about his Happy Days career and his directing and writing, his singing, all that kind of stuff. But who knew about this drowsy driving? How important is that? And his uncle was the guy who invented the Heimlich maneuver. So they combined and they get this great product out there now. So, go out there and get this. We got to get this product. It's called Alert Drops. Go to alertdrops.com and, look up Anson Williams. Watch Happy Days. It was a great show. Check out all the things that he's been doing. He had a great career. So, that's it. This interview will be transcribed on Madhouse magazine. So check that out. The world's only comedy rock and roll magazine in the world. So, we're going to wrap this show up. Let's play Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis and Splish Splash by Anson Williams himself singing it. And then we're going to play the Artist of the Month. So thank you for listening to us here on Live from Dennis's House, Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour on 474 The Mix. And we'll see you next time.